welcome back guys to my channel, and in this final installment of using Notion as a beginner, I'll be dishing out 3 new exciting and fun tips on how to use Notion as a beginner. In this video I'll be taking into 3 tips. First one being icons and cover pages, second being the accessibility of using Notion and the components within it, and third is a little surprise, so stay tuned and watch for it. Alternatively, I do have this timestamps available in the show notes below, so you guys can skip it through and check that out. But before going into the video, I recommend checking out the part 1 to this video, which will float around somewhere. So yeah, stay tuned and let's just get into it. Using icons and cover pages and how to add them, and there's different ways of doing the show. So just to give you guys a demonstration, first things to do is add a new page. Just by clicking this button, you'll have this default page that will tend to appear. And in order to add an icon, now this is a complete random selection. You can customize it by filtering for whatever particular choice you want, or you can do a complete random selection. You can upload an image. If you happen to have an image, you can upload it. And link is another option that you can sort of consider. I usually tend to get my icons from here time to time. It's a very easy way to do it. So they do have the light mode and the dark mode, if that's something you want to test out. It's quite simple. Let's say if you want to copy this and paste and submit, and that's it. You got your Jordan logo. You can talk about anything. Now if you wanted to make it a lot more interesting, you can go add cover page. Now again, this is a random selection. You can change that, right? So you have your default gallery selection that you usually come across, and these are pretty good, but I prefer the use of Unsplash. And if it's a project I'm working on, talking about Jordan, Michael Jordan, and I want to customize this, and let's say what we got, even better, right? So what I tend to do, if I do click on a picture, I can obviously go in deeper with the selection. Michael Jordan, and then let's say I like that. I like the look of that, so I'll download that and it will be downloaded. Now if I go back into my thing, I can upload, choose an image, and download, choose, ta-da! I mean, obviously the scale is completely out of, yeah, so there you go. The whole idea of being able to customize a page through icons and cover pages. I think one of the favorite things I like to do, because especially when writing a post, like writing a blog post, which you can find more on about abhisheknaya.org. I feel it just complements the post, and most of the time I tend to follow this sort of default structure where I'll just go on Unsplash, find a super suitable picture, and just use that as my main picture for my blog post. So yeah, that's tip number 1, the idea of icons and cover pages. Tip number 2 is accessibility. Now, accessibility is just achieved through a stroke of a /. By that, what I mean is just by a simple /, you are open to you're open to a world of opportunity right here. This is the most powerful keystroke you will come across in Notion or while using Notion, and I think that through practice this will build up into a Pavlovian response. Due to the versatility of Notion, Notion can provide a user with easier accessibility, such as this. You in the form of you are given the opportunity to use a page, table, calendar, and a lot more. Whatever your intended purpose is, there's a vast amount of stuff that you can sort of look through and customize your page in whatever fashion you like. So yeah, let's just go through a couple of demos and show you guys by what this can do. So for instance, if you are currently in process of following some sort of habit tracking, and you like to have a calendar, so I recommend the calendar in line. Again, from the part 1 of the video, I told you guys you have the option of having full width, so you can expand that, and it looks pretty great. So you can track your habits by assigning each habit to the day and what you want to complete and stuff. And one of the greatest things about Notion is that if you wanted to add additional properties, you can have multi-select. So if I go back, habits to consider, and you can have brushing teeth in the evening, or you can have reading a book, going to the gym, morning run, whatever you can customize your habits based on that. And so that's your call for action, and you can obviously name it habit tracker. Just with a stroke of a /, you're able to get this whole setup going. It's fast, it's easy, there's limited frictions in your setup, and you can do a lot of things. So let's just get rid of this, and I wanted to show you some other functions. What else? One of the greatest, one of my favorite things that I liked is the call for a call out. Now these call outs are my favorite things in Notion, and I usually use them whenever I'm collating ideas from books, and this is my go-to thing. So you can write anything, let's say Michael Jordan is a GOAT, and yeah, so these are like a couple of like niche things that make a page quite unique, quite versatile. I think you can also change these the bulbs, so you can have GOAT. Yeah, so it gives that character into a page, and I think the whole setup looks quite neat. So that's tip number 2, the power of accessibility to a simple /. And finally, as a beginner, you'll be glad to know that Notion is free. At least one good thing that came out of this year is that Notion advertised that individual accounts will be completely free of charge. I've highlighted the pricing plan for you guys to consider. If you're a beginner and you're contemplating the idea that it's going to cost you, think again. As a sole user, it's completely free. So yeah, that's tip number 3. And that's the end of the video. I hope you found this video useful and less daunting to the idea of using Notion for the very first time. I hope you guys have an awesome day or evening wherever you are. And if you really like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and you may wish to visit my part 1 and part 2 of this Notion series. And so yeah, other than that, I hope you guys have a awesome time, and I'll see you next video. Bye.